Hi, my name is Julie Anderson, and I have a guest with me. And this is why I began speaking out in the first place, was to reach other rank makers. This is Brooke Visser. She was in Rank Makers with me, and she was also a season 1 play to win contestant. And I'm so happy to have you here. And I know people watching this are really here and are just here for you. So please let us know who you are, how you got into MLM, wherever you want to take this. You're in control here.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me, Julie. I'm really excited. So, okay, it goes way back. I mean, I've been in MLM since Mary Kay back in the 90s. I mean, it goes way back. But I pretty much want to talk about rank makers and and play to win, season 1, because that was just a weird thing. It was just a weird thing.
And so I want to just let everybody know that's watching this, if you haven't been following my content, maybe you're like, you have no idea what this thing is. Can you just explain to people? So I know this is going to be a big ask, but what is Rank Makers? And what does it have to do with multi-level marketing? And then what the hell is this thing called Play to Win?
Good question. So rank makers, I always thought it was a way that you can get more people to join your team. So in multi-level marketing, you probably know this, you make money selling the items, but you also make more money by building a team of people who want to sell, and you get little portions of what they sell. So I didn't realize in the beginning that that was the way to get money, is to build a team. It took me like many years to figure that out. But in Rank Makers, it's a way that they have many people in many different MLMs working together to train us, to give us scripts, to teach us how to get more people on our team. And the play to win was so weird. So Ray Higdon, who's the main guy in Rank Makers, decided to do a reality show that was going to be on YouTube. And in order to get a position in this reality show called Play to Win, you had to do a little video. And so I thought, oh, that would be so cool. I'd love to be on TV or whatever on YouTube. And so I did a video, and of course it was just kind of, oh, I don't know, like spur of the moment. I don't know, but I guess they like my energy. So they're like, oh, get her. She'd be good. And so I was living in Seattle, outside of Seattle, in Bend, Oregon, right? Yeah, I was living then. And I live in Bend, Oregon. I'm a mom of 3 kids, and I sell my wares with the company. Love the way that you create a family. The feeling of making an impact together is really important for me. And the show was down in Florida, and we had to pay for our transportation there, and they said they were going to give us a great hotel. Oh my God! Have you heard about this hotel?
I've heard whispers, but we've never had anybody on, and by me, the anti-MLM community, talking about this. So please,
it was like a what are they called? Like a red roof inn or something. It was like a 1-star hotel. I mean, there was like cockroaches. It was like, oh my God. So we had people coming up from Australia, and one gal from Australia is like, she was at the airport. She goes, no, I'll just walk there. And the Uber said, no. You don't want to walk there like at all. And she's like, why? It's like, well, it's on the other side of the track. You don't want to walk there. It's like, oh, okay. So it was just an awful place to stay. I mean, I felt safe, and the other people, our rooms were kind of close together, and we would just pull a chair out on the hallway where you knock and you go into your room, like that outer hallway, and we'd look out over it wasn't the ocean. I guess it was like a river we're looking at. It wasn't the ocean though. And we'd chat. So that was kind of fun. But it was a really weird place. And then on, I think, our first day, they rented a Airbnb. And it wasn't like a wonderful Airbnb either. So the whole thing, I kept on thinking like, I think their budget's kind of low. I mean, that should have been my first like tip off right there. Oh my God. So yeah, okay. So got any other questions about that?
Yeah. So I have heard people have said in the comments when I would be reacting to different episodes of Play to Win that it was cockroaches, that it was disgusting, that there was at least one person that laughed like they booked their like additional accommodations because they're like, this is gross. And also like the realization that the front of the Higdon group being, with just rolling in the dough, so much money. We got time and money, freedom, and it's all glitter and it's all amazing. And it was just like this reality check. Like, this is the cheapest. Like, it's almost like an insult where there's like cockroaches. And I think that I had heard too from people saying that when they would bring this up, they would be like, you're being ungrateful. You shouldn't complain. So that was,
well, maybe
you
we
right.
are, but maybe we're being ungrateful, but whatever. It was just not what we expected, not what I expected. The whole time it was about, you're going to earn all this money and, you're going to be the top of the peak of your business. And yet here we are. So the whole part of Play to Win was they had us separated into groups of maybe 7. And the first group of 7 was there. And you had to stay through the whole session. So the first group 7 did their, 4 days or however many days we had, 3 days, and then they were done. And then the second group came in, and I was part of the second group. I think second group. And the first, I don't know, the first group stayed at the hotel as well, but during the day you have your free day because you have to wait till the very end. So we did our 3 days on, and then we had to wait until the other groups did all their little tasks, and then we would all come together at Ray's house, which was an amazing, beautiful house. It was just amazing. But when we rented that Airbnb, and this was our big day, we had cameras and lights and all the film crew there, and they're a fabulous film crew. They're from New York, and I really love them. I love who they were and what they're about. I mean, they're really cool people. And they took us separately in, and we had to talk to Ray and Jess about whatever. And it was just bizarre. One of the things we had to do is we had to wander around selling this freaking backpack.
Selling a certain item, which we'll share with you here in a minute. And so how it's going to work is each of you will have 5 minutes to go out and do your best to sell this particular item.
I don't know if you saw that, but they dropped us off in the center of, what town is that? Right by Naples, Fort Myers,
on the streets of downtown Fort Myers.
Center of Fort Myers. They said, okay, your task is to sell as many as these backpacks to strangers. Like, I was a peddler. I was like a peddler.
Okay, you ready to do this?
Yes.
You got 5 minutes.
Okay,
Go.
got it. I've got a question for you. I've got a $400 bag I'm selling for $45. Are you interested in it? I've got 5 minutes to do this. No? Okay, thank you. I've got 5 minutes to sell a $400 bag for $45. Are you interested? It's an amazing bag. No? Okay. No? Okay. Thank you. Hi. I have 5 minutes to sell a $400 bag for $45. No? Okay. Where did one go? I'm in a reality TV show. I've got 5 minutes to sell you a $400 bag for $45. Not interested? Okay. How about you guys? Yes or no? No?
I got a nice bag, thank you.
You do? I love that bag. Yeah. Are you interested in listening and hearing more about it?
No, thank you.
Okay.
No, we didn't.
No? Okay, I gotta go. Okay, you guys. I've got 5 minutes to sell you a $400 bag for $45. I'm out on this reality show. Are you guys interested in hearing about it? Sure, right on. It's this amazing bag. It's a vegan bag. It has pockets. You can put your phone in there. It is amazing. They sell it at Nordstrom's. They sell it at wherever, all the cool stuff. Okay, bye.
I've got 5 minutes to sell you. Why not? I've got 5 minutes to show you, and then how about the value is?
I've got 5 minutes to show you. It's great if you're gonna travel. Great for, no?
No.
Okay, thank you. It's a vegan leather.
Yeah.
It has,
Can I touch it?
yes, please.
It's
Wow.
huge.
My
I
gosh,
know.
look how big that is.
Time's up.
It is a very nice backpack.
Okay.
Here's a sale for the next one,
Oh, I hope so.
and your speed was amazing.
Do you have feedback for them?
Yeah,
she
I
was
didn't
coached
try
to
to
do.
convince them. If they said
Okay.
no, I was done.
Okay,
I was like,
cool.
next.
All right,
You're
awesome.
blocking the way.
All right, let's get back. Let's finish it up.
I'm like, hey, you want to find this? It was pathetic, and you had to figure out this credit card thing on this iPad that you had to immediately, do in order to win, and you had like 5 minutes to go sell these backpack things. I was so awful at it. Oh, and then one of the local businesses is like, Joe's Burgers said, I don't want any of your people in my shop.
Also, avoid Ford's garage. They do not like us right now. We want to avoid that particular place. Okay?
Should have been another red flag right there. I'm like, oh wow, okay. So they did not like the fact that the group before us, who were selling journals, probably went and they, sold them in the shop. It was pathetic. So we had to sell these backpacks, and of course they had rank makers on them, and I could not understand that. I'm like, why would anyone buy something that says rank makers on it? I mean, it didn't make any sense to me. So, okay, so here we are trying to sell these back. Hey, you want a backpack? I felt like such a peddler. It was awful. So I didn't win that at all. It was just so bizarre. And then we got together and had dinner together, and I think a lot of people were just kind of in shock. Like, did we just do that? Did we? And one guy on our team, I can't even remember his name. He was great. He stood up on this table, this picnic table. He's like, "Who wants to buy a backpack?" I'm like, "Oh my God!"
Here's me. I'm on a reality show and I have 2 minutes left. I know you don't know me, but we have to sell 3 bags. And you want a bag? All right, let's go. Over here. All right, can you come over here?
Rank makers. Tell me all.
Rank Makers is a network marketing program. Well, membership. We focus on helping others, impacting others.
I would never do that. But Ray was like, "That's the guy. He knows what he's doing."
I like it. Dude is stepping up. Finally, I'm seeing someone step up. This is great.
Would anybody else like a bag to help us out on the reality show?
It's like, do you? I mean, is that really what you want to do? You want to yell to all these strangers to buy a freaking backpack? Oh my God.
And what does that have to do with growing your multi-level marketing business? Is running around Fort Myers, selling rank makers merchandise, and then making a fool of yourself, like standing up on a picnic table and yelling.
Guess what? I've got these amazing bags. Who doesn't want to wear bling? Ladies, I'm talking to you, and fellas, these bags can be yours right now. They're $40.
And I do know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm going to put clips in here when you're talking and to show what was going on, because it was absurd. And
It was.
and I don't know if you're comfortable talking about this, but during Play to Win, like season 1, there was these interviews with Ray and Jessica, and they were like, it was abusive. this whole thing is just straight up abuse. And the way they were talking to you contestants, people watching this that don't know anything about multi-level marketing are horrified. They can't even sit through one of these episodes because of how awful people were treated. And I don't know if this happened during your season, but were you asked to give like a 60-second pitch to Ray and Jessica as to why you should win this reality show?
I think so. You know, that I think we all had to go into the separate room when they rented that freaking Airbnb and talk to them about something. And people would come out with like tears. And I was like, okay, why are they crying? I mean, what is happening in there? So when I went in there, Jess was on the ball. I mean, she's very smart, intelligent, clever. Ray is not, but Jess is. And so I was much more intimidated by her than him, because she was like, she was like on you all the time. Like, what do you mean by that? And what does that mean? And what's the, so, but I think I wasn't, I didn't reveal myself that much because I did not want to end up in tears. I thought that was just kind of pathetic.
And what can you do to help the Higdon group?
I'm a system-oriented person.
It's like, I really don't want to be that vulnerable. I mean, why? And same with when you introduce yourself in the beginning, the people who are interviewing us, they were the crew, and they knew exactly how to have a conversation and make you feel comfortable, but also how to expose yourself. Not in any sexual way, but just, be vulnerable, right? Like, hello. No, they knew how to really kind of dig in very easily in these conversations. And they're from New York. And so when it was my turn and I said, oh, well, I used to live in New York. They said, when I got up there, we started talking about that. And I knew they wanted to get deeper. And my dad died when I was little, and that was what we end up kind of gearing towards. And that's okay. I mean, I can talk about that. That's not a big deal. I wanted to talk about the fact that I had a stroke, but that never came up at all. I'm like, darn. And so I finished the conversation. I don't remember it being that big a deal for me, but I remember thinking, shoot, I should have cried, because that means that you're going to get far in this show.
Yeah.
Isn't that awful? That's awful.
Yeah. Even knowing, like, I'm so happy that you had those boundaries up, even just to not succumb to what other contestants did, because it's horrible. Mm-hmm. As soon as that weakness, like that vulnerability was shown, it was exploited, and it was just used throughout like the rest of the episodes, and like even long after, used in their marketing, to be contacted. And I'm really glad that you had those walls up. And it's very interesting that the crew is like, they're priming you for, let's talk about the death. Let's get that. That's more. And people, this can be argued, well, all reality shows do this. This is for multi-level marketing. This is not a normal reality show. This is for MLM. It's right. It's nonsense. When you, and I know like memories can be really weird, like when you start to talk about this stuff or, remember it. So I don't know if what's going to come out. It's like, oh, I don't remember this, or then another memory comes out. But how was your interaction like with other like contestants? Did you feel like you were forming a bond? Were you encouraged to talk, or were you feeling still kind of isolated? How did that play out?
I really enjoyed the fact that we glued ourselves together with each other. It was great fun getting to know them. I think he wanted to have a battle between the people, and no one would do that. We all stuck together. We all rooted each other on. We all wanted to help each other as much as possible. And it was fabulous. And I think that that was against what his main plan was to have us like, get at each other. But no one wanted to do that. We didn't do that. In fact, I think it brought us closer together because we thought this was, and no one expressed this. No one said like, okay, this is really weird. But I think we were all thinking that.
Yeah.
Like, and so in the last day, the finalists, the people who had, sold the most backpacks and had, I can't remember, cried the most and all that stuff, they were the finalists. And there was one from each of those groups. So maybe yeah. Is that right? Yeah. And yeah, so we all met at Ray's house and we all had to stand there in the hot sun. And I said during a break, we're still standing there. I said, can we get some water? She says, no. I'm like, okay. Still standing here, standing in the hot sun. All the finalists got a phone call the night before and they said, be ready to get wet tomorrow. And they're like, get wet? You mean, are we going to swim? What are we going to do? So yes, they do. They had to present something and then they had to swim across the pool and be the first one across. It was like,
And so you're going to have to learn how to give presentations in tough situations. And that starts now. And so your next challenge is go ahead and take off your shoes, take off anything that's valuable that cannot get wet, and go ahead and start doing that. You're going to swim across the pool and come next to us. And the first person to do that is going to be able to go last in the next challenge, which is a big advantage. Good luck. Shit, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Don't get injured.
oh, this is so pathetic. So everyone like jumped in with their clothes on and swim. And some people had like a bathing suit underneath that they took their thing off. It's like, this is so weird. Why? What is this? So I was standing there in the hot sun, and the same guy who stood up and on that picnic table and said, buy this, he won the swimming thing. I don't think he's an MLM. I don't think he ever was an MLM, which is also weird. I know, it's like he was a DJ in like Chicago. It's like, what? So yeah, and then they had the final thing, and I remember one gal, and I can't remember her name. She had printed out all these things to give to the judges, just like Ray had supposedly done. He had printed out these things. I'm like,
I brought a visual snack for you, if you don't mind. I'm going to help you launch your very underutilized LinkedIn profile. Ray Higdon, right now, your own coach has over 325,000 followers on LinkedIn. And if you know LinkedIn, you would know that 70% of the users are outside of the United States, which is going to help us get the Higdon Group globally expanded. And what we're going to do with that is we are going to get you to expand from your current under 10,000 followers that you currently have. And the Higdon Group itself has 136 followers. And if you look at your profile there, it says, I'm Ray Higdon and I help network marketers get leads. That's not what you do. You're Ray Higdon. And what we are going to do is we are going to utilize video marketing, which has 91% click-through rate. So 65% of people who look at a video will go directly to the marketer's website after seeing that video. And if you know anything about video marketing, which you do, you know that an average 2 minutes is spent on the website versus someone who comes to your website without coming through a video. So
okay, someone did the homework here. God, it was so bizarre. It was so bizarre. And so the final thing, they had everyone standing up above and down below as they announced the final person. And and it was Michelle, our sweetheart Michelle, who's also on this side. Yay, Michelle.
Yes.
No, she's fabulous. But it was just a very strange, weird thing. And I don't even, it wasn't really a reality show. It really wasn't a game show. It wasn't anything. They didn't have us fighting against each other, or we wouldn't fight against each other. So it had absolutely didn't make any sense.
It didn't make any sense until you realize that it's a cult. And then it makes a lot of sense, We're just like reinforcing this weird freaking group of people where it's like
Right.
at your whim, jump in the pool, be ready to swim, be ready to get wet. And at a moment's notice, now you cannot drink any water. You must stand under the hot sun. For what end? What was the point of it? This isn't any TV show. This was just a ridiculous exercise of control that went on for 2 seasons. Just like nuts. So when you so that like the season when the first person is, or like the winner is announced, but then you guys had to keep it secret. Like you couldn't, because then it was announced at Rank Makers Live.
Right.
So did you go to Rank Makers Live?
Of course I did. I went to Rank Makers Live and I saw all my team buddies, which was lots of fun. There's one gal who was a good friend of mine during the Play to Win. She's like, she was way out. She's like, I don't I don't think she ever got back into MLM ever again. I think she was like, I am so out of here. So if I can remember her name, I should get her in touch with you, because she was an airline pilot. She was just a fabulous person, but I think that just totally turned her off of the whole thing because of that. Crazy. So yeah, we went to Rank Makers Live, and we all sat together, and we all, yay, Michelle, and yeah.
I remember that because I was there too, and I remember that there was like the all the Play to Win contestants were like grouped off in another area, and there was always like a lot of attention. It's like and my Play to Win contestants, and so Rank Makers Live, for what anybody is like, what are you talking about? What is this Rank Makers Live event? It's like if you have a multi-level marketing company, it's like their live event, or it's their convention. But Rank Makers isn't an MLM. It's like about coaching. So it's like their annual event, or sometimes they have more than one. So that's what all of us were like encouraged to attend. This is going to explode your network marketing business. You're going to learn how to overcome any kind of objections, and the amazing, incredible guest speakers are going to blow your mind and all this. So that in 2019, this was at this Rank Makers Live. Then it was announced who this season 1 winner is. So you were all there. You all had to like keep this a secret, and you already knew this was going to be announced. And so then Michelle was announced. And then, so what was that like for you, just sitting in with like all of these people that you had bonded with?
That was the best thing ever. I got so much accommodation, and people waved and clapped, and I felt like on top of the world. That is why I did MLM, is because I got all this love and attention, and that's me. It was like, oh, look at me, yay. And so then we also got invited back to our special little lunch together, I think. And they were trying to get us to sign up for something, and I remember this guy coming to my table, and he says, okay, well, my God, is there a moment where they're not trying to get us to do, like, get their money, get more money? So he came up to my table and he said, oh, you would be perfect to, I don't remember what it was, if it was coaching that I needed or something. And I said, I just wait, I can't decide right now, because they needed, more money. They need more money now. Oh my God, stop.
I bet you it was for Inner Circle coaching, because I remember I was in Inner Circle coaching at that, or I was just getting into it. And then there was a lot of people that came in from Play to Win as well. I remember when they came into that Inner Circle coaching, which is, looking back now, it's strategic, because they had built up this like big profile for all of the contestants, so that you have this status in Rank Makers, which is going, and then so if you are going to be seen as doing all these live videos on Facebook, or interviews, or being featured by Ray, then you're in the Inner Circle. It's going to create like more people in Rank Makers that already respect you and all the contestants, and think, wow, they did so well. I've got to sign up for this Inner Circle coaching too. Just used. And wrung out as much as you can, paying for your own accommodation, staying at a cockroach infested hotel, and then like being told to like swim in the pool with your clothes and then like give this ridiculous speech and then stand into the sun, don't drink any water, and then are you going to sign up for this next coaching because we really need it. I was seeing the criticism. People that have watched this could see the criticism that Ray and Jessica would do to the contestants. It didn't make any sense. They would contradict each other and they would contradict themselves, giving out this supposed helpful advice.
Yep. And for me, they were speaking languages that I did not understand. I mean, they had this whole thing about, you know, businesses and the not comp plan, but the business plan. And I'm like, okay, I don't get that. I don't really know what they're talking about here. You know, I'm much more about, you know, teamwork and getting people on my team and getting my team to buy stuff, but I did not get what they were talking about at all. So that's another reason why I didn't get very far, was because I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right, because it was about promoting the Higdon group. It's giving
Right.
like, oh, I'm going because the prize for season 1 was a year's coaching with Ray Higdon, the one and fucking only. Because if you got that, you would get the top of your compensation plan. You would help millions of people build wells in Africa and all that nonsense, right?
Yeah.
But what it really was like, why should I coach you? People, these contestants, like you contestants, were pitching him onto why he should coach you. He wasn't telling you what value he's going to give you, and which gave no value at all, as is evidenced with what happened with my really good friend Michelle Culberson now, and you know her as well. So when I just get so disgusted and angry that I didn't see this playing out. When I was watching the reality show, because it was streaming, they would like stream it on Facebook, and then Ray and Jessica would be in the comments saying, look at this. And he was offering like this criticism. Oh, look at, I was a little bit hard on this person, but we all thought it was amazing coaching, and it wasn't coaching. It wasn't coaching at all.
No. And the only coaching he gave me was like, not many people wanted to buy that backpack. And I said, no, not many, but I just moved them out of the way and tried someone else. I mean, what kind of coaching is that? Like,
he can't sell anything. And it was like he was passing himself off as a coach. And I lost my train of thought because I was like, I get so jacked up speaking about this, especially just in light of everything that's happened. But the coaching, you know, like winning this coaching, you're supposed to be pitching yourself to them to grow their business. That's what this was all about. You're again, there's so many layers of deception within multi-level marketing. And then this whole MLM adjacent industry, which is coaching, which is like, you have got signed up. You want to learn how to recruit more people to your team. You want to get them to start buying more stuff so then you can make more money, and then they can make more money, and it's all going to be great. And then you get there and it's like, you're a piece of shit. You need to keep, tell us how amazing we are. What can you do for the Higdon group?
Yeah. And that
tell our shit. Like
that did not register with me. It's like, okay, why am I selling their stuff? Why am I trying to sell this backpack? I did not get like why at all. That didn't make any sense to me. So, you know, the whole time I was like, well, why would I want to sell this backpack? I don't get it. So the whole point of it didn't make any sense. So it didn't, you know, I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't understand why. The other thing we had to do, we had to make a video about this freaking backpack again. And I was like, why am I selling this backpack? It doesn't make any sense.
Even at the time, it didn't make any sense, which says a lot, because when you're in one of these groups, it's like you just kind of, you do stuff, and it's funny because even when you're in it, like these things that really stand out, they make no sense. You see them, but you just don't yet have the ability to be like, okay, I'm not gonna follow through, because it's like there must be something I'm missing, because these people are wildly successful. They've taught all these other people to be wildly successful and achieve time and money freedom. So I guess I just need to, or all the little reasons that we explain away why we need to comply, you know?
So bizarre.
It's so bizarre.
So, but there was a good thing about it, and that was because, you know, I made friends, and I will always love these friends because we all did it. You know, it's like we all sat in that cockroach infested hotel. I mean, it was just so bizarre. But yeah, so that was fabulous about that whole thing, is that my friendships I made during that whole event.
Yeah. It's always about
Other
the
than that,
people.
no, it was so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many good people involved in multi-level marketing and in rank makers too, you know. So you left multi-level marketing.
I did. You
Yeah.
know, I moved here to the Netherlands in 2021, and there's so many things that you know, I was the type of person who would go for the bling. I kept on like, oh, I'll do better over there. Oh no, I think I might do better over there. So I would constantly switch companies. Of course, I didn't do any better. You know, what was I thinking? But during COVID, I was in a company, and within 6 months, I got to the top, and it was the best thing ever. And I was making money. And I had a great team, and life was good. And then I researched the owner, and he had done all these awful things with Bitcoin. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't, you know, sell his stuff because he's like a criminal. I can't do this. So I stopped doing that. And even after that, I kept jumping around. And I wasn't half as successful as I was with that one. And the reason why I was successful with that one was because I had a fabulous team. And the team were these, and it just happened to happen all at the right time, at the right place. You know, what we were selling worked, and everyone, it was brand new, and everyone jumped on, and boom. So that was fabulous. But you know, since then nothing happened. So I finally came here, and the company I was with, they sent me an email, and they said, okay, we're closing down. I'm like, oh, okay, now what? What is that? And luckily, I had just transferred all my money out of that account and put it in my bank account, because they closed down and people couldn't get their money. It was awful. It was awful. So luckily for me, I did, but so many people did not get half their money. And then those people who were at the top of that one were suddenly talking about another company that we should all join, because, you know, we just have plan B going on over here. So come join us. And I thought that was just so awful. So I didn't join with them, but I joined with another lady, that same company. And they said, yeah, we haven't opened in the Netherlands yet, but we'll pay you in a couple of weeks, and you should join, and this is great. So I joined, and I worked hard. I sold a bunch. I got some recruits. They never paid me. They never paid me. They never paid me. Months goes by, never paid me. 2 months go by, never paid me. And then by that time, I was talking to my lady recruiter, and I said, no, they haven't paid me. Oh, they will. It's like, no. They said in a couple of weeks. It's been 3 months. They have never paid me. So they're like, well, they're working on it. It's like, whose side are you on? Whose side are you on? So I just and I tried talking to the main guy there, who said, oh, we want you. This would be great. I said, you guys haven't paid me, and never heard back. Never heard a word. So I finally just said, just get me out of here. Just, delete me from your whole list. Just get me out of here. So I never get paid. And I was like, I am so done with this. It's just awful. So.
I want to commend you for doing research on the company that you did the best at. So it's like, if you think of like growing up, I mean, we didn't even like discuss this, but it's like, you don't need to. It's like, so many people grew up with multi-level marketing, didn't know what it was. And it's like, it's perceived as okay. So like with Mary Kay and all these other MLMs, and the one that you're the most successful at, everything is great. And this is the one that you decide, or at this time, you do the research and you realize, like, ethically, you're like, I can't continue with this. You made a choice. Yeah. So like, even when you're like still like not completely out of MLM, you still had the ability to differentiate between right and wrong, and you followed your moral compass. Good for you. That's a tough decision, because people will flip and they'll be like, fuck it, I'm going to make money. I personally benefit. but you couldn't. And I'm so happy to hear that. Good for you.
No, thank you. Yeah. I mean, I that's not who I am. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. That's not me. So yeah. Oh God.
Man. So are you
And
still
I
a
have
member?
heard so many stories of so many people who get screwed over by the company. You know, people who are high up, who are doing extraordinarily well in the company, who are making tons of money, get fired, or they get fired and they don't get paid. And actually, a good friend of mine, that's what happened to her. It was right before Christmas. She's a single mom. She's got 2 little girls. She was high up in the company. They decided to get rid of her because there was some, she called one of the things, the products, another name, and they didn't like that. So, you're off. And she did not get paid. And it was just horrible. It's just like, it's Christmas. I have no money now. I mean, it was awful. It's awful. So I don't like that they have that much power over these people who are working so hard to sell their freaking items.
Yeah.
It's
and they do
awful.
this. This is ubiquitous. Every
Mhm.
MLM does this. There's like just in there, and it's people will really believe that this one is different, that they get to the top and everything is going to be good. And it's like you get to the top and then you're making too much money and you're going to get terminated because it's not your business. And these companies, they don't care. And this has gone on since Amway. This is a pattern that has been repeated, and it's devastating to see people that are even near like the top or at the top of these compensation plans, at the top of these schemes, where they don't realize they're in a scheme. There might be like flashes of, but it's like they're getting, they get terminated and they're surprised. It's like, and at Christmas, like what happened with your friend, it's so horrible.
It is. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And I think also the fact that my company decided to close down, just like, okay, we're closing the doors, can't pay, sorry. And then the 2 other people like, well, we joined this company. It was like, oh my God. I mean, can you guys just take a breath here? I mean, it was awful. It was just come on, join our team. It's like, no, stop it. I'm so tired of this. So,
you are literally describing what's going on right now with these 3 MLMs. Transact Card and Finmore both collapsed. Transact Card didn't last a year. Finmore didn't last 3 months. And now they both collapsed, and 3 individuals that were at the top of those pyramid schemes have started their own MLM called Nilo Life, which was supposed to launch at the end of April, and they've escalated because they know what they're doing, and it's a straight up money grab. So what you have just described, people weren't getting paid, excuses being made, and that just rhymed. And then they go and they start another one, and they've whipped everybody up into a frenzy. Just like, we love and respect these guys. They really cared for us. They weren't involved in corporate at all. They're just like you and me. They've come from other multi-level marketing companies, like a Parade, all the way stretching back to at least World Ventures. It's Travel One, which Ray Higdon was a part of. If you can believe it. They even sound the same. It's just nuts. Anyway, what you're describing, it's like, I know people are going to be hearing this and be like, no way. The stories are always the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
And I know that feeling is like, well, it'll never happen here because it's a great company and we're really going strong and yeah, no, it will. It will. It will. It's awful.
So, are you still did you ever purchase the Rank Maker Lifer membership?
I did.
Are you still in the group, or did they kick you out?
Well, see, what happened was I had to delete my Facebook account because back in the day I needed more leads. And I don't know, I followed some guy, some guy. He was advertising, get more leads. We can do it on Facebook. We can, create this web page for you. We could do this. They had this guy that called me and said, are you interested? This would be great. I said, sure. Yeah, let's do it. Well, I did it. And Facebook said, no, you can't do that. And so I said, oh, whoops. So I told the company, I said, well, you told me that I could do this and that Facebook would be okay. They said, oh, we'll just change the name of who made the the ad. I'm like, oh, okay. So I changed the name, and Facebook said, okay, no, we're deleting you completely. So after that, I could never place an ad on Facebook or Instagram ever again for like the rest of my life.
Because of this course, they have no consequences. They can say and do whatever they want to people in multi-level marketing. It's another way of preying upon them. And they're doing the same thing with TikTok too. All of these coaches or uplines selling courses on TikTok, it's very clear. It goes against TikTok's community guidelines under frauds and scams, spells it out. No multi-level marketing. But there's no consequences for them because they have your money and they'll say, oh, well, yeah,
Yep.
wow.
Yep. So that's what happened to me. So and also, you know, I had a very big, boisterous Facebook account. I mean, I had lots of people following me. It was like this whole thing. And I didn't really want to delete it because that's how I made all my sales, was on Facebook. It was like, you know, did my little videos like I was supposed to and showed my little stuff like I was supposed to. And so finally I deleted it. And for a whole year, I was completely off Facebook. And in that time, I know, right? In that time, I learned how to play the ukulele and I wrote a book. And it's like I did all these other things like, oh, there's life. So yeah, so then we went to Antarctica this past October, November, which was fabulous. And then I decided I would join Facebook after that. So I did, and I just, you know, selected some friends to be friends, and I never go on there. Yeah. And that's my Facebook account.
Good for you. So it's like you have a rich and fulfilling life right now. You've been explore all the time that you have now to learn how to play the ukulele, travel. That's so awesome.
Well, that's the thing. You know, they always say, oh, you want more time and more money in your life. You should join an MLM. It's like, no, because you will be strapped to your computer all the time trying to make that sale. And I was for years. So I am so done with that.
Yeah. Do you have any advice or I guess this is it. If you could reach back in time, like you're talking to yourself, go through the vortex to like warn yourself against like about multi-level marketing, because it's kind of like offering advice to people now that are watching it, that are maybe starting to wake up. Maybe they're like, all MLMs, maybe all MLMs are bad, but I don't really know. Like what advice or warning would you give to a previous version of yourself?
Well, for me, I did it for the accolades, for the friendships. We've moved all over the place. It was just important that I had like this group of friends and I could make more friends. So for me, it was all about that. And also I'm a people pleaser. So for me, it was like, oh, they like me. Oh, they're clapping for me. Oh, yay. It's all about that. And if you can just step back and say, okay, that's me. I know that's me. I like people pleasing and I like, you know, accolades and I like recognition. So try to get it somewhere else, but not from MLMs, because you will continually be degraded and all those people ditch you anyway. Yeah, and all those people ditch me anyway, so they're really not my friends. I mean, that's a little scary too. It's like, I thought they were my friends, but no, as soon as you're not making any money, they're like, okay, loser, you're out of here. So yeah, so find something, you know, volunteer, you know, go to the cat house and take care of cats, but you know, don't do that. And also it's very expensive if you do it, because you know, I was buying inventory and I was buying my monthly products. It's like, oh my God, you're a lot of money out. Less coming in, except for that one company, and that was good. But other than that, but you know, just ethically, it really wasn't good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think also, you know, it worked because we had COVID. It worked because everyone was online. It worked because I had this great team underneath me, and it, you know, kind of like the perfect storm. It all hooked up and clicked together. that is really hard to do, and I've never done it since. And I think that was just my little experience that says, yes, it'll work, but you know, his heart is not in the right place. So are you going to keep on following that or not? So,
Yeah.
you know, just and listen to the red flags. Oh my God. So I had so many red flags with the play to win. And most of them were like, I don't understand what they're talking about. And I don't understand why I need to sell this backpack. I didn't even realize it was a red flag, but now I do. So pay attention. Just step back and pay attention. Oh.
You seem to be doing really well. So what are your plans now? What are you doing now? What are you
Well, I'm
what do you
not
like-
doing MLM.
Yeah. That's good.
For a while, because I was so used to selling, I did what's it called? Affiliate marketing. I did drop shipping. And then I just said, you know, I'm just going to be done with that. I am just so done with that. So I stopped doing, you know, I had a little website and all that stuff. So now I'm just kind of poking around on YouTube and taking walks and drinking my water. And
Hydration is
working
important.
out.
Yes.
You know, just, you know, living my life and not feeling like I've got to be doing all the time.
Yes. There's no rest in multi-level marketing. They don't know the definition of the word rest. And it's so lopsided because then you must be productive at all times. Otherwise, you're not a positive and worthwhile individual, and they neglect rest. And then it's very easy to then we do it to ourselves, and it can persist, you know, even after leaving these high control, high demand groups where it's like, I still need to be doing something. So I'm so happy to hear that you're like, I'm drinking water, I'm going for walks, poking around on YouTube. It's like, isn't it great just to like relax?
Oh, so much better. God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any last words? Actually, I want to thank you first because I'd like it to end this with you actually saying the last words. But thank you so very much for coming on and to opening up about your experiences. The word is like we're cheering for you. That's so overused, but I know I am, and I know so many other people watching this who have watched what happened with the Play to Win contestants are just. We're so grateful for you to be just speaking out. And it's so nice to see that you're out and that you're doing really well and you know how to play the ukulele. So last words are for you. Anything you want to say?
Well, thank you. Thank you again for just stepping out and, you know, fighting for all of us, because it's just a very weird experience. And I never really even, you know, put it into my experience until you showed up, and I'm like, yeah, that was kind of weird. And so I really appreciate that you're open to listen to this, and that I'm here with any questions, answers, if you have any, you know, answers, questions for me. And yeah, and if you are at all interested, just step back and figure out why you want to join this MLM, because it's not worth it. It really is not worth it.